Good morning.
Good morning. How's it going?
Good. It's the middle of March, and we are here with another real estate talk, market news. Did
Market talk. We're going to call it market
talk. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, tomorrow's
Market
St.
chat.
Patrick's Day.
Are you going to wear your green?
Well, I know. I own a lot of
no,
green because I'm a
that's-
redhead, so it's okay. I'll wear green tomorrow.
Oh, yes. Green is a good color for you.
Thank you. What's going on?
Well, why don't you start with your story?
Okay.
Yeah.
No, so I thought this was interesting. So a record 8% of U.S. homes are worth at least $1 million.
Okay.
Here we're like 8%.
I wonder what the number
California
is here.
So it talks about how 7 of the 10 metros, top 10 metros for $1 million plus homes are in California. And it's the Anaheim metros, like Orange County, 55.3% of homes are over $1 million.
So majority of the homes in Orange County are worth $1 million or more.
And your payment on $1 million with 20% down is about $4,000 a month. Like, that's wild.
Just your principal and interest?
Yes.
I was going to say, that's not your taxes and your insurance.
Wild. So you're at like $4,600 a month.
Yep.
Least.
Math it out. You need to be
And
$200,000 a year.
Orange County was seeing the biggest jump. So I guess it was up from 55.3% now, I said in February. That's up from 2 years earlier, 27.2%.
Whoa,
So we saw
doubled.
the largest increase here specifically, bigger than any other metro area that was analyzed.
Some of those gains are humongous. Like, I was looking at just a random one-off house for a buyer. They originally bought it in 1994 for $300,000, and it's now worth $2.9. It's
I'm
just
sorry,
a
what?
normal house. It's in Newport Beach. It's in a normal neighborhood.
When did they buy it?
1994. For 300 something. But could you imagine back in the day, $300,000 house, right? 20% down, you're looking at like $1,200 a month, right? Like $1,500 a month. And now your house is worth $2.9 million.
You know
About
what, though?
return on investment.
My brother bought in Costa Mesa 2.5 years ago now.
Yes.
He bought 800, put good money into
Yeah.
to like remodeling the house, maybe 100, 150, I don't remember. But Model Match sold around the corner for 1.5 this week.
Whoa.
2.5 years.
Is he going to get out?
Not yet.
Just wild. If
Isn't that
is
crazy?
sustainable.
It's amazing.
If that's sustainable, you know, if truly it's sustainable, that is just wild. Just
Yeah.
goes to prove how much real estate is a good
Yes,
investment.
it does.
That is
anyway, I thought that was a crazy story this week.
Not getting that
there you
return
go.
on your stocks. I keep arguing that with my financial advisor.
Hey, diversification.
I agree. But every time he gives me this whole portfolio of how if I invested in stocks, so I made him do this whole thing when I purchased the property in Redlands, the investment property I have. For that last, I don't even know, 5 years, 6 years now, I'm like, okay, what is the average rate of return over this time and what is the average? And I did all mine, I did all his, and I'm like, I beat you.
No, no way. No way.
Let's end this conversation.
Well, it's like you were saying in our update last week that real estate had been voted for like the 8th year in a row as the best.
That's right, yep.
More than stocks.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of potentially saving money and looking at your books, I ran across this story. So we had talked a couple weeks ago about Prop 19 and the ability to pass on property tax savings to either heirs or family members. I feel like I need a coffee cup to hold.
Oh, I
I'm
know.
going to hold
Sorry.
this plant. I'm just kidding. Next time I'll get a coffee cup so I can look official. Anyway, so Prop 19, so it was really investigative article that put out by the LA Times, talked about how there's actually a backlog. And I think I spoke to someone in the industry that said they hadn't processed any of those applications
That's what
yet.
I was saying. I have a friend who works for the LA County Assessor's Office, and not a single application has been processed.
Okay, so this is a perfect example of bureaucratic red tape. So this was approved in 2020. This
By
was
voters.
By voters, signed into law.
And replacing Prop 60, like other propositions that had
Right.
similar, yeah. So it's not like it was a new concept.
And so people just think, okay, this is good to go. I'm going to pass on my
Let me
property
put this
tax.
into perspective. If I'm 60 plus, is that what it is?
Yes.
Yes. And I buy a house, and I just sold my house that I bought in 1953, and I want to transfer my property tax rate. Yes, my property tax assessment.
Right.
Okay. So when I go to buy that new house, it doesn't automatically happen. Now I'm
This is what we're trying to figure out.
This is where we're going to have to put on our investigative hats because
Okay.
in the preliminary change of ownership form from escrow, you do check mark a box that does dictate that you're doing that. You're trying to take that
Yes.
property tax.
Yes.
But apparently with the County of Los Angeles, there's an application process and there's a backlog of about 4,000 applications that haven't even been looked at.
And when I asked my friend at the assessor's office, are you just out of luck? You buy the house and you think that this is going to be your tax bill, and you checked that box with escrow, and he said, yes, like you owe that bill until.
Oh yeah, it's not retroactive.
So you knew, so you owe the supplemental taxes, the new assessed base off your
Potentially.
sales
That's
price.
what we're trying to figure out.
Okay, so
Goodness
my
gracious.
buyer's situation was different. So there's twofold.
Yes.
So yeah, you can do the way that you mentioned, or this was a family transfer. So grandpa dies, passed it on to dad. Dad sells it as an interfamily transfer, and then the tax rate is carried on down to my buyers, which are
But can you
in
do
their
that twice though? I thought you could
Yes,
only
you
do it
can.
once.
Yeah, so it was never really, it was still in grandpa's name in the trust, and so it never really changed hands until
got it.
now it's going to grandchild.
Okay.
So moral of the story is we need to look further into
We need
this
to
so that
dig
we
deep
can.
into this, because if this is something that like agents and the industry is talking about and promoting,
Is this
because
only
everyone
LA
does.
County though?
No,
Is
this is
Orange County-
everywhere. This is
So is Orange County
statewide.
backlog, San Bernardino County?
Who knows? Good question.
Yeah.
All good questions.
Hey, if you work for the Orange County tax assessor and you want to give us some insight, comment.
Yes.
Send us a
Please,
message.
San Bernardino, Riverside, we'll take it.
We're all about
this is
accurate
fascinating.
information. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
So
know.
more to come there.
Yeah, TBD.
Wow, that is really, really interesting, you guys. So I ran into a huge, this has happened to me now twice in 2 months, where it's hard enough working with buyers, and I have a handful that are just hanging in there with me, and twice now in 2 months. The first time around, we offered on a property, we offered way over asking, we offered a 3-month free rent back, we offered the option to extend up to a year at PITIA. Pretty sweet, right? Verbally, I get an acceptance. 2 days later, because I don't have the document signed, I'm like, hey, what's going on? Oh, they're too scared to become a buyer. They backed out.
Verbal acceptance,
Okay.
man. I know.
Okay.
Ugh.
So I never tell my buyers.
Yeah, I
though.
know.
I
but
don't
still,
tell my
it heart
buyers.
breaks your own heart.
Because
Yeah.
until I have it signed, I don't believe anything anymore.
Right.
Then it just happened this past week again. Literally another property.
Same city, same.
Nope, Chino Hills and Chino. So close.
Okay.
Same difference, different shoe. I don't know.
Yeah.
But like, so this time we offered over asking, 6 months free rent back.
Okay, so for them to be a buyer, they have 6 months free.
Yes. So they get to stay in their house free.
And look,
For 6 months plus our 30-day escrow.
No
So
pressure.
essentially 7 months
Yeah.
to find a property free with an option to extend after that at market rent. I got the verbal acceptance. A day later, oh my gosh, so sorry, they freaked out. They just don't know this market. They don't want to become a buyer. Ugh, it is like jab me in the heart.
that's rotten.
Heartbreaking.
And who knows if that has to do, I mean, yeah, if there's nervousness, right? But what, like, is it driven by interest rates or the inventory? It's the whole thing, right? It's
Yeah.
just driven
I'm
by
really
the whole thing.
excited for our office meeting today because one of the things we're going to be learning about is options for loans to be able
Bridge
to
loans.
Yes,
Yes.
exactly. Buying before you sell because it helps with that uncertainty. But I guess we'll see.
And then TBD on the Fed raising the interest rates today. That
I
happens
know
in
we're a
couple
little early.
hours.
We're like 90 minutes away from.
wish we
their-
could-
Finding out.
they are going to raise. It's just
Yeah.
a matter of
Yeah.
how much and
How
what
much
that
and
ends up
what.
doing to interest rates for mortgages. So
Oh,
we'll see.
wild.
So let me just finish this thought with this brought up a good question. My most recent buyer that offered the 6 months, when we had a verbal acceptance, and I was encouraging him, like, it sounds good. I didn't tell them, but he was like, so I have a question for you then. He goes, if I'm giving them 6 months and we, in the RLAS, residential lease after sale, we're off telling them that they had to maintain the property, all appliances, everything. My buyer was like, well, if I'm getting a 1-year home warranty and now I just gave away 6 months,
Right.
he's like, is it possible to start the 1-year warranty at the end of the 6 months? And I
Wow,
was like,
that's an
actually,
interesting question.
yes, so listen to this. It's totally possible
Yeah.
because of our relationship with Fidelity. That's our preferred home warranty. You call them 30 days before you want it to go into effect. You pay for a 1-year warranty. It's called consumer, direct to consumer, but because of our relationship with them, they still get the in escrow prices. And then it starts, so I say 30 days because it won't cover anything for 30 days. So do it 30 days before they're moving in or they get occupancy, and then they get the whole year.
Interesting.
Wow. What's the max time you can like have it not active for?
I wonder
With
if you
our-
could even just like ask for 2 years and have it start right away if you wanted it to be covered. Like, I don't know, just a
Well, you
different
can't
option.
ask, have you ever got a seller to pay for a 1-year warranty?
Yeah, that's true.
Never.
Right now it's
Yeah.
so
I have
hard.
to write
Never
the buyer
mind.
pays
Well,
for
Never mind.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's true.
So he
Good point.
didn't want to lose 6 months on his, investment of a warranty
Yeah.
when he doesn't have to cover anything.
Yeah.
So it's really fascinating to learn now. We do have a way to further protect our clients.
Yeah.
It's called direct to consumer, but because of our relationship, we can get that. So
That's incredible.
Just good to know, guys.
That's a good option.
Thank
in
you.
this crazy market.
Yeah.
That we have to like jump through hoops and do gymnastics to get an offer accepted.
So we have things to follow up on for next week. So we have, what's the interest rate going to change to? Let's do some digging on this Prop 19. If you have any information, please comment, let us know. Yeah, it should be a good week.
On to the office meeting, huh?
On to the office meeting.
Man.
Thank you for joining us for our latest installment of the Market
See you
Chat.
next week.